Hey, Kieran, how are you?
Oh, g'day. Rick, how you going, mate? How you guys?
Good, thank you.
Nice to see a little bit of grey there, mate.
Oh, there's some good grey in there, mate.
Yeah,
Very good grey.
Good. Well earned, mate. I've always thought that Kieran would, if they're, the Minotaur, the human with a horse body. He's definitely the perfect Centaurian Minotaur. Centaur, is it? Centaur.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Okay.
You look like a dugong. We've found that out,
Shut up, would you?
A sea cow.
Sorry, guys. Welcome to the TAB Sports Cafe-ish again. What?
Pardon me.
Tough week. We've lost Chris Christopherson and Dame Maggie Smith. So if you don't know who they are, get on Wikipedia, Google.
It's just some sad music. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Have you been crying as well?
Yeah.
You look really sad.
And also very sad is that no one believed Marc's pig story.
No, they.
Well, it was a big story, but it was pretty believable. I don't think off the cuff you could make a story quite as prolific as that. And
No.
You couldn't make it up.
No,
you can't.
You had to be there. It had to be.
Sometimes reality
May have been slightly embellished over the years, but
And it certainly shows how the show somehow is getting watched, because I was down in Dunedin, as you know, for a 21st just gone, right? Checking into the Alhambra Oaks Motel. Mm-hmm. Down there in the North Dunedin there, I suppose.
Yeah, in the danger zone.
In the danger zone. Beautiful motel.
They
locked all the minibar away?
For the discount, you mentioned them on the show.
No, they said, by the way,
poorly,
as I was
Trying to
checking
make
in,
good.
she said, hey, that's all good, your room, this is your room. By the way, no pigs in a sack. I mean, what? That's, I've just been watching the show. Okay, well, it's on me.
See, they believed it. They believed it, didn't they?
Good news travels
That
fast.
may just be a general rule that they have for everyone.
Yeah, you go to a hotel, no pigs in sacks.
Now, you sent me a photo, didn't you?
I've got categoric proof. Yeah, well, mate watched the podcast in London and said, I've got a photo of the 21st. So he sent me a photo of me holding the pig as a gift. I don't know what happened to him later in the night. All I know is he devoured my chocolate cake. But
Just don't tell that story again. We don't have time.
no. Isn't it funny how you can remember stuff that happened 30 years ago, but last week's a bit of a toughie?
Totally.
Thank you. Do you remember when you interviewed the Minister of Sport, Trevor Mallard?
Which one? Oh, Trevor Mallard. You're going back a bit now then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big Bledisloe Cup weekend in Wellington.
Yes.
We sent you down, and this is how you treated the Minister of Sport.
Should I call security?
Oh, we'll give them a couple of minutes and then do that.
Trevor, a big game this weekend. Who do you think is going to win?
I think the All Blacks will win. I think they've had the better form through the Super 12 as the Crusaders. With a couple of additions, they should go really well. And it's about time we had a big win in Wellington.
Can I call you on that?
They're a very exciting mix. Rudolph is obviously looking to play a different brand, if you like. They're looking to attack, and they're being very constructive with the ball. So they're going to come here to play, and that's good.
Well, it's going to be a huge game this weekend, no doubt about that. There'll be a lot of people there. It'll be a big day.
Yep.
And the All Blacks are playing with a bit of assurance. I think they'll do it easily.
Okay, if you had to maybe put like a score on it, how would you call that?
I'd say 25-7 to the All Blacks.
Trevor, how about the conditions? Do you think they'll affect the game much?
Yeah, I think that they could be good if they get the ball out wide.
Yeah,
It's
really?
always hard to tell in Wellington what's going to happen on the day. The track will be good, but it might be a bit slippery.
Saturday night.
And then David Longy said, just use my phone.
Hi, is that security? Can you send
No, I am.
us up? We've got some idiot
You know who I am.
want to get rid of. Thanks.
The Sports Cafe tea guy.
What do you know of the Springboks? A bit of an unknown quantity.
Yeah, we haven't seen a hell of a lot of them this season, but they're always tough, very physical up front, and I'm sure with Red Australian charge they'll be pretty tough with their set pieces and well drilled.
Ruben, I was just wondering, this is in a test match on there for full 80 minutes. What happens if someone needs to do poos, some of that? She actually wanted to know, it wasn't me. Thank you.
Interesting, isn't it? I mean,
interesting's not the word I'd use.
No.
You couldn't get away with that, could you?
No. Well, I've got a confession to make actually, and ironic timing that Trevor Mallard should come up because of the America's Cup's on. Previously, when the America's Cup was held in Spain, but it was held in anyone? Valencia.
Yeah.
I went there to do some stuff and got asked, do you know any business associates that you'd like us to fly? Because it was NZT or something. So, yeah, I've got Matthew Hart and John T. Kelt were two associates. So I flew two mates in on the taxpayer tit, and we're sitting there, and Mandy Smith was my ex-girlfriend who was going out with Dean Barker, right? And Dean and the whole thing was pretty awkward for a wee while. And Simpson, a mate of mine, phoned up Dean and said, look, Marc's up there, maybe you can get him to come to the party after they won the Louis Vuitton.
Nice.
And so I get a call from Dean about half an hour after they've won it saying, do you want to come to the party tonight? I went, why is he calling me? This is, odd. Then I looked at my phone and I'd sat on it. I'd sent him something like 130 texts. And we were skin deep. We'd had a few beers and I said, look, fuck, we've got to go to this bloody thing tonight just so I can say I'm not a creep. Sorry, I said on my phone. So we go in there and me and my mate, Hart. So I said, look, mate, if we go in here, you just don't, do anything that's going to disgrace us. And then I bumped into Trevor Mallard and we were, 3 sheets. And he was just swanning around like he owned the place. And I took offence to it. And so I said to him, look, mate, this is, not on this sort of behaviour. And then his phone rang and it was Helen Clark. And so I snatched his phone off and said, I need a chat to her. And so I walked off and he jumped on my back. So I've got the Minister of Sport on my back at the America's Cup, which I've gone to apologise to Dean for sending 130 texts. And I ended up throwing him on the ground and throwing the phone on him. And then, security got me. And so I'm getting lugged toward the door. And then I hear this circus, this pandemonium down the other end. And he's also in security. And we both got tossed out at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can tell the end of the story, but we got kicked out of there with our tail between our legs.
Oh, my God.
And we'd only gone to apologise for, sending 130 texts. And then we're walking past Team Germany. And this is so inappropriate, but I've got to tell the truth. My mate walks into Team Germany.
No, don't.
No, yeah, no, you can't. No.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
We'll put it this way. We ended up getting chased by 2 grinders and jumping on a pizza delivery guy's bike and saying, drive. And it was like wheel hopping as these 2 big beefcakes were chasing after. Oh, absolute bloody disaster. So somehow I tracked down Trevor Mallard's phone number the day after and phoned and said, look, that wasn't my finest display, admittedly, Trevor.
He jumped on your back.
Well, he jumped on my back. He actually physically assaulted me, the Minister of Sport, at a
It's unusual that when you've got someone talking to the Minister of Sport with helium, that's the least funny thing that happens.
I don't feel exactly.
That's quite funny. Yeah. And Dean obviously paid you back by marrying Mandy.
Well, look, there was, I just wanted him to know that he had my blessing. Effectively.
I sent him 130 texts. That's nice.
Yeah, I thought, after how many texts are you getting after you've won the Louis Vuitton? I get a phone call, g'day. Yeah, g'day, mate. It's Dean. Do you want to come? Well, yeah, maybe. Thanks, mate.
Nah.
Pretty bloody weird of him. Then I went, holy shit.
So I played that clip because I wanted to talk about the Bledisloe Cup. So, you all watched it.
Just on the helium thing briefly, though, you wouldn't, I would like to see more. Why don't do One News do the whole bulletin on helium one night? Just the hell of it.
True.
Doesn't have to be
just
April
on Wednesdays.
Just Wednesday, Helium Wednesday.
Helium Wednesday, yeah. Have we got Kieran Read online?
Hi, Kieran.
Yeah, g'day, guys. How are you?
Kieran, you obviously watched the Bledisloe Cup because I saw you on TV. What do you think?
Yeah, I did. It was, it's probably similar to what we've seen all year, to be honest, from the All Blacks. Like, some really good things, but, not quite an 80-minute performance. But I guess probably what we wanted to do was break the curse of Wellington. which they did. Sam Cane, 100th test, get the win. So probably that's the positives out of it. Like there's some great individuals in this All Black team at the moment putting their hand up. We're just probably not quite seeing the collectiveness across 80 minutes yet. But man, it was I guess for them, it's a step in the right direction and a good night for those boys.
Where do you think the consistency is lacking? Is there a positional zone? Thanks, mate.
Good question.
I think the forwards are working so hard, and maybe it's just getting the leaders on the same page together, right? These guys are new to the game, but certainly it feels like we just can't quite win either the territory battle or the possession battle at the moment. We get stuck under pressure and then defend for 20 minutes or so in a row, which we did at the start of the game and then a bit at the end as well.
A Northern Hemisphere ref. They really, when you're 6 penalties down in the first 20 minutes, you don't get any chance to move forward.
Yeah, it's the Georgian. He hasn't been kind to us over the years, and it was pretty he's pretty pedantic, which I think when you're talking about Aussies and New Zealanders, generally it's a really entertaining game, and when we kind of got rid of him after that first 20, it did come to life, but I think that's what we're going to have to plan for, right? Those next tests up in the UK.
How do you plan for that? Sorry, mate, this is an important line of inquiry. How do you plan for that? Because the referees are just so pedantic, so anal, and there are 120 rules that can be interpreted one of a myriad of ways. How do you as a team plan for the eventuality of being 14 or 13 or penalties and referees effectively and the way they interpret the game dictating the course of the result?
Yeah, look, I think now, mate, like you obviously analyse the opposition, you're analysing the ref too, right? So you've got all the analysts who are putting these packages together for the players to go, okay, this ref penalised the attacking team more in this area or, whatever it is. So the knowledge is there, so the boys will understand what the ref's going to be doing. Prior to the game. So I think from our point of view, what it used to be like in the loose forwards, because we're potentially treading that line the thinnest, was, okay, let's hands off at first 20 minutes. Let's get into this game. Let's see what he's going to do. And then we can see where the line is, right? So potentially I think that's the way forward. You come in squeaky clean, see what the ref's kind of doing. And then, as you say, you just got to adapt to, whatever he's ruling on that day.
Yeah, because as a loose forward, especially, being a loose forward myself back in the day.
What day was that?
To a lesser degree than, say, perhaps yourself.
What day were you a loose forward?
Oh, most Saturdays.
Okay.
Well, Leigh suffered albinism, which effectively means the safest place is at the bottom of a dark ruck.
That's right. Normally if he rucks back as well. Yeah. But because the last thing you want is your forwards to be gun-shy, don't you? You're going in there and questioning before they go in there, especially you real loose forwards. That's the last thing you want.
No, you're right. I think what you can do, though, you can do it in different ways, right? Like, so, for example, instead of maybe going for the jackal, you might go to clean past the ruck. Probably in your day, Leigh, it was more, getting a couple of bodies in to clean over the ball, so you couldn't really use your hands back then.
Obviously watched a couple.
So a bit like that, right? And just trying to maybe get the feel for what it is looking like. I think that's for the All Blacks point of view. Like, we get stuck on D a lot, and we defend really well, but we defend a lot of phase, and eventually there's going to be a penalty, or they're going to get through us. So it's okay. How can we, maybe turn dominant tackles into turnovers? Get the ball back under attack, or win some territory.
And without being an apologist kind of thing, and the All Blacks would never do this, but in the modern era with the pedantic reffing, would you say it's probably adversely affected the All Blacks more than other teams who prefer, the further more slower structured play? We want it to be loose and fast. So.
Namely South Africa and England.
Yeah.
The Poms run the game, right? So they create these bloody rules and the magnification of every aspect. They slow it down. They let the big popos, because typically our last 20 minutes were our strength because we were fit as a team and we used to like being loose. Now they've slowed it down. They bring on the bomb squad.
Where would you say we're at, the All Blacks? If you give us a grade, for the home series getting ready to go off.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about the grade. I think that's a good point though from these two fellas on the couch. Like,
don't say that.
Thanks, man.
Cheers. Yeah.
Like the way the game's gone, especially, and even probably Razor has to look at it, right? Every time you bring on a sub, that's a time off the clock, so it's slowing it down to bring a sub on. So, and that's in that last 30, 20 minutes. And you got 16 guys coming on the field. That's 16 little breaks. So it could be on Razor going, okay, let's not either use them early or wait till a try or actual injury break to bring on your sub. So you're not stopping the game in different ways. But
do you remember Laurie's thing was, like this is back in the day prior to you, Kieran. It was like, if they can't give you a penalty if you ruck them and you're bound. So, like, two guys have to hold each other and you can jump all over somebody. But if you ruck them by yourself, you're going to get a penalty. And he said, and if you're going to do it, go for the bony parts. It causes more damage.
Giblets.
Go for the bony bits. It was actually like a call before a test. Go for the bony parts.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, mate. And so what are you doing when you're not on my TV?
It's actually my TV, Rick.
Not now. I mean, on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, look, I'm utilising, I guess, those skills I picked up over my career into a performance space. So helping out leadership teams and their teamwork culture, leadership. Into corporates and businesses and everyone. So I guess if you want to look me up, kieranread.co.nz. I'll chuck the plug in right now. Have a look and get in touch.
Not a stupid question, but does that include, say, the All Blacks or Rugby Union? You're doing stuff, close to home? Yep.
It doesn't include the All Blacks, but maybe one day. Who knows? So it includes into sport as well, 100%. Yeah.
Another, does it include HR? Because we've got a pest in the room.
Do we? Yeah.
I think I do work closely with HR generally because they're the type of people that will get me in and employ me. So
we don't have a contract, but we're all feeling really uncomfortable.
I guarantee that if someone felt that there was a pest in this podcast, it would be you.
Yeah, well, mate, you are undoubtedly, by dint of the fact that for the previous 6 shows, you've brought up topics that have made us all sort of feel like our skin's crawling.
Kieran, so in the corporate arena out there, what's the general vibe, do you think, when you go in and you're trying to add a bit of positivity into a corporate environment? Is 2024 a good place to be working for most companies, do you think? Have you got your finger on the pulse out there?
Hey, Lana. Look, I think it's been tough, 100%. You can kind of sense that. I think that people are wanting to learn a lot about change, right? Like, I think, how do you adapt to those down times and push yourself through a bit of adversity? So I've probably come in and spoken a bit about that a lot. But, I think generally, let's hope it's the sun's coming out, get a bit more optimism in the country. Like, there's some positive things. I think everyone's kind of looking, to push on into this year and then into next year.
Just before you go, Kieran, you play in the cricket, the Black Clash. Have you played with Marc?
No, I haven't played with Marc. Marc, have you played? Did you play one or not?
Oh, yeah. Sadly, Graham Henry's a great coach of rugby, but he made me bowl, which I don't do, and batted me number 9.
Yeah, and how many runs did you get?
I got nothing, mate. I tried to hit Vittori for 6 and got stumped by Vittori, great combination.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to get stumped,
it's an impressive combination.
It'll be them.
Well, yeah, he's a great glover.
Marc, if you ever want to come back, mate, then just let me know because...
Mate, I'm in because my son watched it. He was in tears, the poor little bugger, because he didn't want to see his dad do that.
And that's Snacky Changi team rugby, isn't it, Kieran? Of course.
It is Snacky Changi team rugby. And
well, mate, if there's a chance of having a bat, I'm in.
Nutrition
but,
space.
If you ask me to bowl again,
I'm saying that life after the All Blacks, what is your favourite sport to do now? What do you do for fitness?
Oh, in terms of fitness, is running, I guess. I'm kind of, which is quite strange. Like, I actually hated running when I played. Probably because I had to keep up with McCaw the entire time. We did our fitness sessions. So I didn't really enjoy the running, but since I've finished, got into a bit of that. A few mates that get up in the hills in Christchurch here or in the forest and, chuck a podcast in, like Sports Cafe-ish and just listen away and go for it.
How's the carcass then? It must be relatively decent if you're going for
It's
running.
actually, pretty good, eh? Like, when I finished, it was probably maybe 3 or so months where it felt horrific. When I finished, my body was breaking down. But give it a bit of time, lost a little bit of weight that you didn't need. And it's come good. Like I've got a knee that needs a replacement at some stage. But, I can run in a straight line. But so I just have to be careful when I take the kids on out in the backyard that I don't try and bring out the step or anything too much because I generally fall apart when I
They do a half knee replacement now, which I had a half knee replacement. Bloody brilliant. Like if you've only got cartilage on one side, the half knee you can still run on afterwards.
Yeah, so I'm just hanging in there while I can move, keep going with the exercise, and then at some stage she'll get fixed up.
I hope you're listening to that, Rick.
Right.
See, what he said is you lose a couple of kilos, life gets a bit easier.
All right, mate. I'll let you go. Go and inspire the country.
Thanks, Kieran.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Nice to see you.
Thanks, guys.
You're gonna play.
Yeah, I think you should play something, little Chris.
Now,
Kieran Read.
Thank you. Before we go to the next guest, I just want to. We've had a lot of Olympic medalists on this show over the years, and probably the two that.
Do an intro from.
No.
When you introduce them.
Yeah, when I introduce them. Yeah. Can we look back at this moment with the Evers Swindells twins?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until the last 250 that I looked across. I'm sit in the bow, so I looked across and saw that we were kind of level with the Germans. And
Is it front or back?
It's probably, I steer at Caroline's back.
So George crosses the finish line first. That's
Yeah,
what
that's my
how
claim.
Front.
Front. Yeah.
Just for us brown fellas.
And
they're facing the other way than the Waka Bro.
Now I got you.
So they're back.
Sorry.
Yeah, like we when we crossed the line, I don't think to begin with we just relieved that it was over, no more pain, and we knew we might be in a chance for the medal. We were just stoked the fact that we had a medal, and we didn't really care what colour it was then. Now we're pretty stoked with the fact that it's gold.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't want to trade, but
it was 1/100th of a second.
Something like that, yeah.
We were told 4 centimetres, and I was quite surprised. It sounds like quite a lot to me.
It's like
So
that
like
quick.
the Marc
It's
as well.
I wasn't even listening.
That's right.
So the thing is that the Americans, all the American athletes who have won gold are now being set up with movie stars. Like the latest is that Phelps is being set up with Jennifer Aniston. And no, it's not really. I mean, I just wondered, who the New Zealand gold medalists might like to be set up with.
You're trying to sort of suggest that you're a movie star. Is that where you're going?
I'm Rick, a married man, but Matthew wanted me to mention that.
Mate, talking of best behaviour.
No, the thing that I've just picked up there is like you're not cracking any jokes on this actual podcast.
No.
So you're showing the ones that work, from the 20 years past.
One for the laugh track on them.
That's not the clip that you told me that you were going to show.
No,
There's only 3 of them.
Keeping that up my sleeve. Because one of the things that I've just got to apologise. So when Hamish Kerr won a gold medal, we gave him a car. When the Evers Swindells won their second gold medal at Beijing, our sponsor was Bond & Bond at the time, and we gave them a washer and dryer.
Better than poking the eye.
Who got the washer? Who got the dryer?
I'm not sure, but
I'd like to think they'd just gone flat and we asked them what they'd like.
I think
we would have said, would you like a flat screen
Yeah.
TV or would you like a washing machine and dryer? We wouldn't just assume that because they were females, you'd automatically think
I
that they
have
needed
not.
something.
Come on, hold on
Yeah,
a minute.
you come
Every household needs that, I mean,
They do
we just
indeed.
saw the gross, position that men are being placed in with the devil's number last week, and to assume that.
So
To assume
I'm
anything,
just
ever.
when I saw that that's what we'd given them, I'm just really apologise if I did assume. I'm sure I didn't. Look, we've got a special guest, Olympic gold medalist, high jumper, Hamish Kerr.
Yeah, brilliant.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Where did you get that attitude that said, right, I'm not going to settle for a draw. I'm going to have a crack, I'm going to look you in the eye, and I'm going to go for gold, right? And only one of us is going to get it, because that, to me, was the moment of the Olympics. That just summarised the winning attitude. It was inspirational. Loved it.
Yeah, I think, look, I wouldn't consider myself the most competitive person. I think it's probably been taken as a high level of competitivity. If you ask my girlfriend, she'd probably disagree slightly with that comment. But no, I think honestly, like, that's what the Olympics are about, right? It's about who can win and who can sort of walk away with that gold. And I think that I definitely would have wondered what if I hadn't taken it. So yeah, I think everyone was pretty happy I did.
You'd have both got golds. So it was like it was.
Yeah, but Olympic co-champion just doesn't quite sound the same, does it?
Yeah, but it's like when you're playing like basketball shots with a kid, and you say, right, give you $20, mate, if you nail it, and they hit it, and they go, oh, I've got $20, and then you say double or quits, and the right kid says double, the wrong kid says quits. You said double. I admire that.
Yeah, well, it's half a hole though, isn't it?
And so did you what made you say double? Did you think mentally you owned the guy? There must be, in high jump of all things, there's opportunities to sort of rub past one another, to look each other in the eye, to sort of size up your opposition, probably better than most sporting events.
Yeah, there was a bit of that. I definitely pipped him in a couple of really key comps this year. So I sort of knew that I had his number when it came to that kind of side of it. But yeah, I think also, like, as Olympians, we are aware that our sports are being put on a pedestal in those 4-year sort of moments being the Olympics. And so I think for me, like, I just wanted to put on a show. I wanted people to sort of see that what we do is pretty exciting, and we do put some pretty cool moments in front of people's eyes. So yeah, it was sort of a case of wanting to win, but also just wanting to make people really feel something. And that's what we did.
What about the Italian guy, the previous gold medal? I mean, he's really theatrical, isn't he? Like it was like a soap opera watching him jump.
Yeah, so he was he was dealing with a little bit of health issues going into it. I think he had kidney stones or something, which he's claimed because it was genetic, and it depends on who you listen to, but it definitely sounded like he wasn't eating a huge amount going in, which is something that obviously helps high jump, but you're definitely towing a bit of a line there. And so yeah, there was some pretty crazy stuff going on in the background. I wasn't aware of a lot of it. He was doing a lot of it on Instagram and various other social media channels. But yeah, it's all about how do you create that show, right?
And also, like, you can train all year and you're there or thereabouts, you're feeling good, but from event to event, you could show up in the day and not really feel the groove, or some days you must feel like, I'm good today.
Yeah, there's a lot of timing involved. You definitely see that sometimes guys will come out and have real horrible competitions and then suddenly turn around, a week later and do really, really well. But I think that's part of the game, right? As we know that, once every 4 years, everyone's going to be watching us, and it's about how you can make it really work on that day.
When do you know you've nailed the jump? Is it the foot placement?
Yeah. So you pretty much run in, you chuck your foot down, and that's kind of when you know. And then the rest of it's sort of just this cool sort of moment of obviously taking off and getting over the bar and then landing.
Can you remind me what your exact height was for your final jump?
So I jumped 236, and then in the jump off, jumped 234.
So that's getting your entire body over someone's.
It's about Macca's height.
Adams with a dwarf on his
Macca's height.
It's
like 3 times.
That's Stephen Adams with Macca on his shoulders.
Yeah. It's kind of stupid.
The interesting thing is Rick was a great high jumper back in the days of the split.
Yeah, so he claimed.
No,
the scissors.
I did the
He's already told me about that.
He was the scissors. That's why he.
Did you do the scissors when you were starting out as a kid?
Yeah, I did a wee bit of scissoring.
What about the Western roll, the straddle?
No, you're showing your age now.
Yeah, you're getting.
So what's the evolution for from a young athlete to becoming a high jumper? Did you always know that was the sport that you would migrate to?
I mean, it's such a mainstream sport. You just, you get into the program and off you go. No, it's definitely pretty niche. I think probably for me, it was about going to my local club and just getting set up with a good group of mates. There was a heap of good people at the club that I was part of, which I just was good mates with. So we just kind of turned up and trained and never really thought much more of it. And then I obviously, coming to the end of high school, realised I'd had a little bit of talent, and that's when I sort of started taking it more seriously.
Did you want? Hold on. Did you?
No, I'm sorry. Okay.
What?
No, what?
Would you like to talk?
No, you go.
No, you go.
You ever been to a gun club?
No, not you go.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Did you?
Oh, sorry, you are going to go.
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have a young gymnast that you watched at the previous Olympics that inspired you to what?
Well, I know where you're going with this. You're going to go Nadia Comaneci again, and that's where it all began.
I'm just saying that did something inspire you? Was there an athlete that inspired you to?
You said gymnast. You didn't say athlete.
Probably a high jumper, I'd say.
Sorry, I'll apologise on behalf of Rick.
Look,
It wasn't Nadia.
No.
Sorry, boys.
Did you meet Nadia? She was at the Olympics.
No, so for me, it would have been Hamish Kerr. I remember watching him win gold in Athens.
Athlete. He was.
Hamish Kerr was
superhuman.
one hell of a guy too.
Yeah,
Great role model.
We couldn't get any footage of you jumping because Olympic footage we can't afford. We did manage to find this still photo of. Actually, that's me jumping over at Blast. Sorry.
How do we know that's you? That could be anyone.
Great technique.
It looks like me.
It must be about 1.2 metres because you're clearing it by about a ruler.
Yeah, I want to see the full footage. Where's how hard is it off the ground?
Television wasn't invented back then. Like, if I'm going to be honest, can we lose that?
You
photo?
just wanted to prove that you once had hair.
No, because it actually was like $1.20 I got someone to lie down and take a photo, so I made sure I cleared it by a long way.
Yeah, I could tell that.
Yeah, thank you.
The advantage, of course, in the high jump, you're going over backwards. You mentioned hitting with your foot is the key, if you're going to go well. Obviously, you would have seen the pole vault with that guy who cleared it quite easily, but obviously took the bar off.
Where are you going?
Oh, just because he was going over front ways, like with the Western roll, was it? That style. So obviously, it must be quite good going over backwards, knowing that you've hit it well. There's a good chance you're going to get over that bar without any other.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, if you're wearing loose shorts and you're running a Linford Christie, you still might be in trouble.
There's always a risk, isn't there, boys?
Yeah.
What about people? Actually, how you see the floor routine and that wonderful American
gymnastics.
Gymnastics. They come up and they do the flip, twang. Is that?
Can you just clarify what that means?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, anyone, I'm just...
Yeah, show us.
They're doing like a floor routine.
Sure.
They're going across and they do the somersault, like a tic-tac, and then they go woof, and they do a double or triple somersault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tic-tac and a woof. Yeah,
really high.
Height,
I mean, is there clearly are rules as to how you get over the bar?
Well, you can't jump off 2 feet.
Why not?
Because that's the rule. That's what high jump is.
I think you probably underestimate how bouncy that floor is.
Yeah.
For gymnastics?
Like, obviously, insanely impressive what they do. Like, I'm not trying to take away from that, but I think that kind of technique on the floor that we have just wouldn't work. The floor is so much harder. It's like jumping off concrete. So if you were to sort of do a handspring, you'd probably break both your wrists.
Can you?
So that's why I asked the question.
Yep.
The other question is, how tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
Yeah. So it's
so
not
slightly taller than average.
Yeah, it's not a game for short men.
When was it that you hit 2 meters? How old were you when you jumped 2 meters?
I would have been 18.
Wow.
I remember when New Zealand, the first guys to jump 2 meters in New Zealand were Marc Woolley and another guy. And it was front page of the newspaper. It was that big a deal.
Yeah.
Jumping 2 meters.
Well, that's impressive, but you've gone.
now you're jumping
that
230
so far. It's incredible.
Incredible.
How
old were you when you hit puberty?
Oh, about 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So where to? Did you go straight into another competition from the Olympics, or do you have a bit of downtime? What happens now?
No, I'm on holiday at the moment, thankfully. So yeah, bit of a holiday, and then I'll pick up the training again next month, and then March is our next big competition.
But now you've got a target on your back. Now you're going into every event as Olympic champion. How are you going to cope with that?
Oh, I think it's such a cool feeling. I mean, I'd much rather go into every event, be the Olympic champion than not. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a different feeling, but we'll definitely make the most of it.
This interview's gone quite well. I just wanted to say, just going back to the Evers Swindells, great Olympians. That interview didn't go so well. Can we just roll that clip? Thanks, James.
Offered Dancing with Stars or New Zealand's Got Talent or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which show would you go on? So you had a choice
Not
of
the
those.
dancing one, and I don't think I've got any.
Jesus. It's live too, we can't cut that. Oh God, I'm starting to feel awkward.
Can we just carry on?
Oh shit, it's got a bite to it too.
You farted and you tried to blame it on Lana.
Well, no, I didn't fart. I'm leaving because I'm obviously standing in the smoke cloud.
No, you farted and you tried...
Go back again. I don't believe that's possible.
I'm not sure why that was just interjected into your interview. Do you have an opportunity to go into schools or universities and talk to...
You're not asking Rick, are you?
No, I would never. I'm just trying to draw the attention away, actually, from both of you. Do you have an opportunity to go in and now, I mean, you've got a form of celebrity that will be with you for the rest of your life. It must be really exciting. I know, and that's a difficult role in itself to be in the public eye. But is that something that you look forward to, or you have an opportunity to do as well?
Yeah, yes, I do. I get to go into schools and stuff now, which is pretty cool. I went into one the other day, and I think 500 kids passed my medal round and all had a look. So to be able to have that sort of effect on people is really exciting. It's definitely something I'm very grateful for. But it is also weird, when you're in the supermarket and you're picking up your 6-pack of beers and your bag of chips, to also have people sort of stop and go, congratulations. So it's a slightly different way of life.
Yeah. And
what are you going to do when you finish sport? Because I have a sneaking suspicion the big fella's destined for greatness. Like, perfect attitude,
You can do what Kieran's doing, inspiring people.
Well, why don't we ask him what he's going to do?
Well, that
was
was
sort of where I was going.
Until you interrupted me.
I didn't interrupt
you. You heard the question.
No, I'm interested. What do you guys think I should be doing? Because I mean, I did an economics degree, and like you said, there is definitely some opportunities for me out there, but I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do.
It starts with a B.
No, is there a career where you can just get high things off shelves and stuff like that? Is that a career?
Shelf stacker?
Broking or banking, I would do if I were you. I mean, an economics degree.
Actually, here is a clip that Lana sent me about the power of positive thinking. Have a look at this. This was something that Lana sent me amongst all the alien jokes that she sends me.
There was a study done in Florida at a tennis academy, and what they looked at was what is the difference between those tennis players that are top 5 in the world versus those that are top 25. Was it their diet? No. Was it their exercise? No. Was it when they started playing the game? No. Was it their coaching? No. What they actually found was this. The difference between the top 5 ranked people in the world and the others in the top 25 was their thinking. In the 10 to 15 seconds after a point had been scored in tennis, those athletes that thought positive things such as, I love this game. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I may have not got that shot, but I'm going to get the next one. Watch this. Those athletes that thought positive, it slowed down their heart rate, slowed down their breathing rate, and across the entire competition, they were conserving a lot of energy. They were feeling better about themselves. And thus, across the entire tennis match.
Hamish, you're in a sport where in every event you have failure. You knock the bar down. How do you cope? Do you think in a positive way when that happens?
Yeah, I love that video. I've seen it a number of times, and it's definitely one that it probably changed my thinking a little bit. One of the things we sort of talk about is sort of this feeling that like feelings aren't real. They're all kind of a product of your external environment and what's happening around you, but the way that you kind of react to that can not be real at sometimes. You can perceive something to be really negative when it actually is positive. And so, yeah, I think, in those hard moments and those failures, I suppose, that we all deal with as athletes, it's just around trying to frame them as well as possible as to sort of what the reason for them happening are. And I've dealt with a lot of failure in my career and a lot of success, but I think that in terms of learning moments and moments that will sort of continue to future-proof my career, it's definitely the negatives that are much better.
And it's not just in the sporting environment either, is it? I mean, you could be like, say, party arsehole or something, and sort of fall backwards to a ranch slider or something at a function or a accident, or maybe, what do you call it?
Or even dive through it.
Even
that would be party arsehole diving.
Could be a luncheon even. Doesn't have to be a evening party.
Yeah.
No.
Could be a lunchtime event.
Could be a champagne breakfast.
Could be. You could,
In fact, it was.
You could, fall back as your ranch slider, take the whole thing out, and you could feel pretty bad about that,
So Leigh, did you learn from that experience?
Well, it's only early days, only happened a couple of nights ago. So look,
Right, okay.
I'll let you know on that. I'd say I think I have
Amazing.
learned. I think I've learned to compartmentalise it. It's probably the best way of putting it for now.
Park it on the shelf.
Isolate it and move on.
I mean, we could think about you falling through a lunch slider, or we could actually go to the Olympics where you were on the verge of being knocked out because you missed your 2 jumps and you had to make the 3rd jump. So how did you be positive about that situation?
I wouldn't say I was positive about that situation. Definitely wasn't one that I wanted to be in. But I think, it just comes down to the training we do. And, as an athlete, you prepare for these moments and you work out that, just like Leigh said, there's sometimes you have unfortunate mistakes happen, and that definitely happened in one of my jumps. And so I was put in that position. But thankfully I had people around me, especially my coach, who was able to sort of calm me down a little bit and just
what
get
did
me
he
back
say?
on
What did
track.
he say to you? I'm fascinated.
He just said, stay true to the process that we've been working on. Keep the belief in what you can do, because this is a jump that you've done all year pretty comfortably, even in training. And some of the things that I was doing in those jumps, those 2 misses, I was hurrying. I was missing a couple of phases of my run up, and so he sort of just brought me back to those things and just said it was all going to be okay. And I was there literally looking at him like, am I going to be okay? Which usually I don't rely on him quite as strongly in that sort of emotional piece, but for him to be able to look me in the eyes and say, yeah, you're going to be fine, was definitely really good.
Mate, all I can say is it was one of the highlights of the games for
the highlight.
Yeah,
of the
totally.
games
It was
for me. The highlight.
As a nation, I think we all celebrated so much with you. It was really
Love the attitude. Love the
beautiful
attitude.
moment.
Yeah. Thanks, Hamish. All the best, mate.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
I do have a bit of an apology to make.
Want some apology music?
Yes,
If you have some apology, what's apology music?
Because I like to apologise to you all, because I got a little bit excited the week before with the win on the Dogs and stuff. The money was coming in, and so I went to the TAB this week and put all our money on the...
Stop. Mate, you've got a bogey hanging in your right nostril. Sorry, mate. But back to the beginning. Back to the start.
How are you looking that closely?
Well,
Is it gone?
You've got a nose like King Kong. Remember, it's been broken 14 times.
8. Right. Can you start again, apology music? I'd like to apologise to you all because...
Are you talking to the audience or us?
No, to you 3.
Oh, good.
Because
setting up for this.
I had the money from the TAB. I got excited because we won on the Dogs the week before, and I thought I'd have a different strategy this week. I thought I'd go big odds. So I just bet on everything that had...
I knew a girl, Donna was her name.
I'm trying to say that I lost all our money at the TAB. Sorry.
We knew that was going
We knew that was going to... Did you bet against the All Blacks?
I bet against the All Blacks.
That is still a surprise.
I bet on Argentina to beat South Africa.
Yeah.
I bet on the New York Jets, and they didn't score a touchdown. So I think I'm going to hand it over to you, Leigh.
Yeah, I'll take over for a week. Yeah, sure.
Because
what, have I got any money to play with?
How much have we got? What's the budget?
$100.
$100.
I bet $100 every week.
So
Leigh will probably spend that on beer.
Well, it's a sure bet.
It's a sure bet.
No.
It's going to make us all happy.
No.
That might be irresponsible.
And also mascots. Do you like mascots?
Well,
I love a mascot.
they had,
I love
mascots at the basketball last night. They were,
The Breakers. You were at the Breakers game.
Yeah, I went to the Breakers
Enjoyed
game.
that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed
What's
it.
the mascot at the Breakers?
I think it was like a...
Cheeky the Care.
Were you there?
No, I was saying, was it Cheeky the Care?
Yeah. They just had heads. It was just heads and little
little wings.
They weren't the mascots
What
that
does
used.
it do? Does it do dunks and stuff? Does it jump?
No,
on
they
many
weren't
tramps
flash mascots. They were
mascots?
they were just mascots running around.
Here's some mascots this week. The
They
big
weren't
game.
flash. They didn't have bodysuits.
No.
There's a big game in the US every year where the mascots play the kids in Pee Wee football, and have a look at this.
Little trickeration from the Pee-wees, and Blue with the sack! Little extracurriculars there, Blue.
This is a great run by mascot, and then a a nice fend to the face of the kids.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And then
You
another
can't get
mascot.
hurt in the suit.
No,
That's so good, eh?
This is
Smashing
real
the
mascots.
kids.
Smash them.
Yeah, just take no. And then this is a great bit of play here from the mascots. Knock the kid out of the way, and then nice throw to the horse.
That's so good. Why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I feel like these guys are a little bit more serious about their careers.
So in the
The mascots
US,
at the
there's
basketball
actually a
Mascot
course, a academy.
Yeah.
It costs
Well,
a lot of money.
that's,
You go and
yeah.
train to be a mascot.
They probably get paid quite well as well.
Yep,
Seriously, if you put the human cannonball
as a mascot.
and fired them the length of a field into a net, like they do it basically the Super Top, the Warner Brothers Circus.
So have we,
No,
have
but
we heard from the Cannonball? After last week, surely he must have reached out.
I spoke to him a couple of days ago.
Was he breaking down?
No, he just wants
Melting?
to play a game of bowls on Waiheke.
I heard from his
Might
lawyer.
have to take the show to him.
I think we need to. Shall I covertly
Do
film?
you think that we need more mascots in New Zealand sport?
Yes.
As long as they can be
Good
cool
ones.
like that and
They
do
were
stuff
cool.
instead of what we do at the moment, everything's half-baked.
Well, we had a
They just-
problem with Shaq the cat
I knew you'd raise Shaq the cat.
and Dunedin. It was
Misbehaving?
Well,
Touchy-feely?
If we can, no, not at all. I mean, he was just exuberant and an enthusiast. And
He
we
was a
knew
good
who
mascot,
Shaq-
Shaq the cat.
He was a great mascot. He's a Black Panther, and he was the tiger mascot. And you had, this is when they're burning shit on the terraces, so it's like knock yourself out. You do whatever you like. And at one stage, we're losing to somebody, and there were some members of must have been Canterbury, I suspect, members of the audience in black and yellow, and he pulled his tail between his legs and proceeded to do an indescribable act with it.
It's definitely a skill.
So he did
It's
a
a
bad,
skill and
he
a good
did
job.
a bad act.
Yeah.
And, that was the end of that, which I thought, to be fair, the Canterbury supporters deserved. Do you know the theory that John Leslie's got?
Well, no.
It's similar to Donald Trump. In that you should build a wall, but the wall should be around Canterbury. Because all the people in Canterbury would love that, and all the people outside Canterbury would love it. It's actually much better than the wall in Mexico.
So where are you from, Lee?
I'm not big keen for that.
Yeah, all the Cantabrians want a wall around.
Would you go back to Canterbury, or would you have a special pass that let you in and out?
It'd be like COVID.
Day
You need a
pass.
special pass going in and out. You know?
It works. It's absolute genius call.
We just had Kieran
You wouldn't
Read.
be a very good mascot
Why?
because you're too angry, and you.
No, you put a mask on it.
No, I
Imagine
don't
the
think you can
dugong.
mask it.
Like, and it's just-
you could dress him up as a fairy princess, and you'd still come across as angry.
I feel quite hurt that you don't think I'd make a great mascot.
No,
I think you'd be a brilliant mascot.
it's a special breed of
Bring on the
individual.
dugong.
Just bring on the dugong.
Boom, boom. Across the...
You have it like a pool in the ground, and the dugong's on a diving board above it. Just
If we do this
like
much
Gemini,
longer,
ready,
we're not going to be
Go.
invited or be allowed to
10-metre
go
dive.
anywhere. And
whoa, and it just falls and lands in a tiny paddling pool. Like,
Play the titles.
I'd love to
No.
see you off a 10-metre diving board into a parapool.
No,
In a dugong suit. That would,
I don't need a dugong suit.
I know you don't.
I'm a dugong.
Yeah, but, let's just make sure that it's obvious for the people who don't recognise you.
did you get all your bits in the show tonight?
Yeah,
Did you read your list?
Yeah, my list. I got most of them in there.
Yeah.
I didn't have dugong mascot in there
No.
or Canterbury Wall.
So it's bonus material.
Yeah, that's bonus material.
So that's, like the last song on Led Zeppelin's album.
Good night.
Cheerio.
Good night.